people take a bite of our cheesecakes, I want them to feel how much work and passion and love that we have put into that food. I want them to experience that and say, this is unlike a cheesecake that I've ever had before. This is something unique. Hi, I'm Sarah Chester, and welcome to 789 Bakery. 789 Bakery, we do cheesecake. We want the light, cakey texture all the way through. It's most closely described as a New York style cheesecake. It's technically not baked in the manner of a New York style cheesecake, but it's light and fluffy, and that's what most people will think of.
It's kind of indescribable. Like, I don't know, it's gotta be some crazy secret ingredient or method, but it's just the best cheesecakes I've ever had.
This is absolutely the world's best cheesecake. They just haven't had enough of it yet. I actually spent 3 years coming up with the recipe. I started studying the science of baking, how temperatures affect your product, and started experimenting. And 3 years after that, I had a recipe I was really proud of. It's a cake with a base made primarily of cheese, not flour. Ours is a cream cheese-based cheesecake, which is going to be extremely different than, for instance, a ricotta cheesecake. Ours is a really light, fluffy texture to the filling. It's not overly sweet, so you're gonna taste each component and each of those ingredients in it without just having a mouthful of sugar. Our crust is perfectly golden brown, has a nice crunch to it without distracting from the creaminess of the filling. And then the trick is to get that crust to go all the way up to the top. And then our whipped cream, we do freshly whipped cream. Nothing comes from a can or a jar. We make 3 different sizes. We have our 9-inch cake, which is gonna feed like 20 people. Then we have our 4-inch cakes. Those are a great serving size for a family. You get about 4 to 6 slices out of it, unless you're someone like me who eats it in 2 slices. And then we have our mini cheesecakes, which are individual serving sizes. So they're 2 inches in diameter. They're perfect for one person. Cheesecake isn't exactly a light dessert. We've taken all the guilt out of them. That's how they got to be so small. My food philosophy is to evaluate food with all 5 senses. So you have to evaluate food not only how it looks and how it tastes. Hint of cinnamon. Smell is so intricately linked with taste, of course, but then there's also touch and texture to it. The taste for our cheesecake, it's very natural, it's not overly sweet. You're gonna get all the components of the ingredients, and it just has a slight hint of vanilla. When you open a box of one of our cheesecakes, you're immediately gonna smell kind of the sweetness, the fresh cream, the fresh quality ingredients. Really nice texture to it. The feel of it is really gonna be within your mouth. Ours has a really light, fluffy texture, and a lot of people don't think about how a cheesecake feels to them, but when they take a bite of our cheesecake, that's something they almost always comment on. The one that people don't think about too often is sound when it comes to food, but sound will come into play when we are making our batter. So for instance, I can tell by just listening to the batter whether or not it is overmixed or whether it's done or whether it's undermixed just by the sound of it. It's a very finicky dessert. It's very much a science, and you do anything wrong with it and you get a cracked cheesecake or you get a texture that's all off. But that's what I like about it. So we invented cheesecake popsicles. Cheesecake tastes amazing frozen. It gives it a certain refreshing quality when you eat it as frozen. I kind of liken it to a fudgesicle, but it's different. It's a texture all of its own. It's amazing. We like to have a lot of fun because we work too many hours in our lives not to have fun doing it. And so we have our own built-in selfie station where you can step and then pose and pose with our mixer. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm passionate about cheesecake, but I'm passionate about food. Food is something that carries so much memory and emotion for people. When you have that much responsibility, you have to treat food in the right way.
789 Bakery has everything, and everything they do is delicious, and it's the best thing that's happened to this neighborhood.
Done.